Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So this is only going to take about 10 minutes, so that's the best news you've heard all day. My name is Jay Smith. I'm co-founder of Beiwei 55. Now, for all the English speakers in the room, don't worry, I am going to do this in English, but just for all our Chinese friends in the room, 大家好，我叫史杰，历史的史，杰出的杰，我是北纬55度的联合创办人。如果之后你们有任何问题，可以随时找我，或者加我们公司的微信。I wasn't asking for that, it's fine. Thank you though, very kind. So at Beiwei 55, we run tours specifically for Chinese tourists coming to the UK with native British Mandarin speaking guides, people like myself who can do what I just did. Now we do what we do because we think now, probably more than ever, it's so important that people of different cultures and countries get face to face with each other and interact. Now probably more than ever, so that we can see underneath, despite all our cultural differences, we're all the same underneath, and we all just want to have a good time and enjoy ourselves. Now our main service is tours. We also work B2B with a lot of UK companies who are working with China, so we provide their tours. And on top of that, we also provide their interpreting and translation services, so we can create a whole package for any UK business working with China. So we've worked with corporates in the UK, such as Land Rover, the NHS, Manchester United, the University of Leeds. We're currently working with the Tate Modern. And I'm here today, essentially, just to give 5 tips, very briefly, that from our experience may help you when dealing with any incoming Chinese visitors that you may have, particularly corporate clients, given that this is kind of event that we're at. Now, because of the limited time that I do have today, I'm going to be doing something very dangerous, and that is generalizing. So do forgive me, but I've only got 10 minutes probably, so I am going to have to do that for the sakes of this. So point number 1, and tip number 1, is to gauge your audience and what they want from their time here in the UK. This will help you decide on the type of guide, if they need one, you will provide, and the type of itinerary that you put together. Now, this will depend hugely on the type of visitor you have, if they're a first-time corporate visitor, or a return corporate visitor. If they're a first-time visitor, they may just want photos in the key locations and a lot of time to go shopping. If they're a return visitor, they may want a more in-depth experience, they may want what's called slow travel in Chinese, and they may appreciate something with a bit more depth and a bit more cultural integrity, if you will. They will not mind if you ask them what they want in advance. In fact, they'll probably appreciate it. This will help you organise the best itinerary for them, provide the best personnel for them, and the fact that you've asked will reflect well on you and on your business as a whole. So do ask, don't be ashamed. I'm from the northeast of England originally. We have a phrase which means shy bairns get now, which means basically ask or you won't get and you won't find things out. If you're really lucky, they will speak English, and they will have been several times, and you may not even need to do anything. That'll save you a whole load of stress and take a job off your hands. So if you're lucky, you'll be in that situation. Number 2, expect very last-minute and demanding clients. That way, if they're not, you'll be pleasantly surprised, and it will be a bonus. Now, you can plan, in our experience, to your heart's content, but with certain clients, in particular high-end VIP clients and corporate visitors as well, particularly VIP clients, you can put an itinerary together and they will change it in a heartbeat over breakfast. I once had a client ask me to instruct the driver of the vehicle we were in to drive the wrong way down a one-way street so the vehicle could be closer to his hotel entrance. Now don't worry, it's not all as demanding as that. You will get very odd requests like that. And even more importantly, don't worry if you can't provide everything that they're asking for. They will appreciate the efforts that you are going to, even if you can't quite reach that level with the demands that they put to you. And some of them, in our experience, are just nigh on impossible. Expect last-minute restaurant requests at 8:30 on a Saturday evening in the best restaurants in London, for example. Number 3, make sure you get something written down in Mandarin Chinese, an itinerary that you have in mind. Even if they do change it in a heartbeat, make sure initially you've got what you had planned written down in Mandarin and given to them. Make sure it's written in accurate Mandarin Chinese as well. This will save you a lot of time, back and forth communication between you and your guests. If you can, send it to them on WeChat. Get WeChat, obviously, you've heard it all day today. It's completely free. It's probably their preferred method of communication, and it's one you can continue with them when they go back to China. If it's a UK phone number, they're going to lose it the moment they leave, for example. Also, one small point that I always like to bring up, do not assume that somebody's WeChat name is their name. It is not. And you will make embarrassing mistakes if you do that. When you meet them, you can put notes in on WeChat. Make sure you put it in straight away. Get their name in there. Don't make that mistake. I've made it before. It's embarrassing. Number 4, get to know the best Chinese restaurants in your area and where you are visiting. Now, this isn't your favorite Chinese restaurant. This is the most authentic mainland Chinese restaurant that you know in your area. A lot of this, for the Westerns in the room, you may never have tried this food, in which case you're very lucky because there's a whole world of unbelievably delicious food waiting for you to try. Just make sure you know where they are at. If you're lucky, they may only want Chinese food a few times. If you're unlucky, they're going to want it every single meal, all across the UK, and they may even bring spicy sauce with them to breakfast to have with their toast and cornflakes. So it will just depend on the type of Chinese client you have coming to visit you. Off the top of my head, if you want a couple of recommendations, if you want something very authentic, not necessarily the classiest place, but a good level and very authentic, there's a place called My Old Place in Liverpool Street. It's my old personal Chinese restaurant in London, my favourite, I should say. If you want something high-end, obviously you've got the Shard and the Hutong, or Hakkasan have a few branches, one in Mayfair, and that's if you're really wanting to impress, and that's, in our experience, locations that have worked for us. If you need any more recommendations at all, just come and find us. We've got a stand downstairs, or just send us an email. We'll happily send through the list that we've got of the hidden gems that we found across the UK. And number 5, finally, most importantly, beneath all the chaos and carnage that there may or may not be during the visit of your Chinese guest, expect to meet some of the kindest, warmest, and friendliest people on the planet. In our experience, despite the huge cultural, language, and general differences on life as a whole and business, Chinese people are some of the friendliest and warmest people you will ever meet, and it is a privilege to work with them. So brace yourself for a bit of hecticness, but brace yourself to make some friends as well along the way. And that's it. 5 tips. I hope you can take one thing out of those 5 tips. If you need any more information or you just want to ask any questions, we're downstairs. Thank you for your time. 谢谢大家的关注. I hope there's one thing you can take from it. And get in touch if you have any more questions about hosting any Chinese. I wish you the very best of luck with any incoming Chinese that you may have, and a very happy weekend to all of you. Thank you.